Heidelberg Catechism is a product of the 16th century Reformation. There are many other statements of faith and catechisms which were written during this time. The Heidelberg Catechism has become one of the more well-known and consistent use statements of faith, both as a catechism, and the idea of a catechism is to learn by a series of questions and answers. But it is also a creed, and so it is one of the most consistent statements of faith that has come to us out of the 16th century Reformation. Originally, the authors were who was a professor at University in Heidelberg, Germany, and a pastor of the church in Heidelberg, Germany. They were asked to produce a product that would specify particularly what it is that the Reformed aspect of the Reformation held to. At that time, there were basically two accepted religions in the various provinces in Germany, either continuation of Roman Catholicism or Lutheranism. But there were small pockets of reform, particularly in the area of the province where Heidelberg, Germany is located. And so hopefully to establish and defend those particular things that were, from the reform perspective, would be known and defended by this product. Secondly, they were asked to produce this as a way for particularly the young people, but the average person in the pew would be able to learn in a very simple way what their faith is. And though this resulted in the 129 questions and answers that you find in the Heidelberg Catechism. Now, the Heidelberg Catechism is a succinct statement of everything that is the gospel that you find in the scripture. The authors used for their guide the approach that is taken by the Apostle Paul in Romans, in which it talks about what our need is, talks about what the answer to that need is, and talks about how we respond in faith. So those three categories. Heidelberg Catechism is then a very personal statement of faith. In fact, you will find as you look at it that it uses very personal language in the way of its pronouns. What is your only comfort? What do you believe? What is my faith? Those kinds of statements are used throughout the catechism. So it becomes a very personal statement of faith. But even in using that succinct and personal language of a faith, at the same time, the authors of the catechism captured tremendous theology in those statements of faith. So the Heidelberg Catechism is both a catechism, a tool by learning what the gospel message is and what faith is in Jesus Christ. It's also a statement of faith or creed of what the church believes the scripture teaches. So I certainly commend you, if you're not familiar, become familiar with the Heidelberg Catechism. In fact, I'd like to tell my students, my young students in grade school area, as they memorize, especially question and answers number 1. I commend you to learn it, to memorize it to the point where it is instilled in your heart. And when you have that, you have the gospel. You know what it is that the scripture teaches. When you embrace it as your own, you have a confession of faith. And so I call you to not only study and learn, but I trust that you will embrace the message that comes to us in Heidelberg Catechism. Thank you.